99.1 FM CKXS, good morning. Welcome to our Saturday here. We are always keeping you informed and educated with what's going on in your community. And today, like any other day, we'll be passing along what's going on around the area. A few things that actually you can do. Last week, we were celebrating the May 16 Miracle. That was an incredible event that took place in the Wallsburg and Chatham-Kent region. We talked a little bit about it last week here, a lot about it last week on the show, and we talked a little bit about it on the real estate program that we do here at 9 o'clock each and every day, where Pete Allaer joins us today, joining us again here in studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg.
Was that not phenomenal, that May 16 Miracle?
Yeah, it was incredible. Unbelievable.
Yeah, never in my life have I seen anything like it, and they still haven't figured out what they've raised in the way of food, and yeah, phenomenal event that was. Today's program, want to get right to it, because you're going to take questions today. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Anyone out there that has any real estate related questions, call in, and I'll do my best to answer them.
Okay, so whether it's buying or selling.
Yeah, really, any question someone might be wondering about, it's a good time to just call in, and like I say, anything to do with real estate, we'll try and answer it.
Maybe let's give them a little bit of your background, too, and your experience when it comes to real estate. How long have you been in real estate for, Pete?
I've been in real estate a long time, but I've been in selling real estate for 7 years now, and I've got experience all around, everything from farms to commercial real estate to residential rental real estate, multi-units, and then of course homes. So that's one of the reasons I got into real estate, because I was always into it on sort of owning and selling and buying before. So that's why I thought, it's a good fit.
And now, just recently, this year, took over the Riverside Realty.
Yeah, so Dick was at the stage where he was ready to retire, and it felt like it was a good thing to take that over, to keep that in our community, keep it locally owned.
Absolutely.
So I took over February 1.
Good stuff. Of course, the number, by the way, to call if you want to ask a question to Pete is 519-627-0991. Or actually, I'll throw this out, too. I'll give you our text line number in case you wanted to text a message to Pete. I know some of you are... You want to be hesitant in asking a personal question when it comes to real estate. Maybe you're thinking about selling and maybe don't want some other people to know you're thinking about selling. That could be a possibility. But if you want to text us a question, that could work too at 437-9991. That's 437-9991. That's on the text line, or you can call us on the phone at 519-627-0991 in case you've got a question and you want to talk about real estate. So we talked a little bit about selling last week on the program.
Yeah, we were concentrating a bit on the selling and the multiple offers and that side of it.
Yeah, very educational too, because I've always wanted to kind of understand how the whole multiple offer thing works. So that was good. But today we wanted to talk a little bit about buying, right?
Yes.
Oh, I think maybe we got somebody on the phone line. Hey, if you can call back, 519-627-0991. We'll let you call in to ask a question to Pete. In the meantime, let's talk about buying and how that all works as a buyer who wants real estate.
Yeah, so I wanted to sort of talk a little bit about the buying side, since we sort of concentrated on the seller last week. This week it's the buyer. So the first thing that I wanted to explain to buyers is a little bit on how to find a realtor, and then once you've found one, sort of moving forward from there. So one of the things that I always say to people, the first thing usually is the referral thing. So, your parents, your brother, your sister, your friend, that's kind of the first part of it.
Right.
You'll ask people. But I always want to stress to people that it's a big decision to buy a house, buy a home. And I think that you have to be comfortable with the person you're working with. And that's important, because you have to feel comfortable, you have to feel open to ask questions, and you have to have a good rapport back and forth. And the other thing that we have to remember is, once we have a realtor, it does not matter who has the house listed. That realtor can take you into anyone else's listing. And I think a lot of people forget that, because, they'll have a person, and then they drive by a house and they call off the sign, and boom, they're in the house. The next thing you know, they've switched gears, and I think it's important to be loyal to a realtor, because they're going to work hard for you. If they know you're loyal, that you want to buy from them, they're going to work hard for you.
I got a question here on the text line for you here. I'm interested in selling my house. I have a friend that's a realtor, but they don't live in the community in which I'm selling my house. What would you suggest in that situation?
Well, I'm a firm believer of use a local person, because we know the market, and this happens quite often. You'll get people that have relatives or something, and they're not from around here, and they don't know the market. They don't really know the pricing. Let's say a person from London. Well, real estate is quite a bit different in London than it is here.
Yeah.
Now, what sometimes happens is, if it's someone who is a close relative, close friend, we have what's called referral. So that person would, whoever's wanting to sell the house, they would talk to their realtor friend.
Yes.
And then that realtor friend would speak, let's say to me or someone here, and then we work together on a referral basis. So we do all the work, we list the house, we sell the house, and then when it's all over, we give a referral to that person, and that happens a lot.
That's probably a good way to do it, right?
Well, it is,
you're accomplishing both things.
Yeah, then you've involved your friend. The other thing too is, if you have a friend in real estate, an out of town person, they'll get a pretty quick feel for someone here to say, oh yeah, you know what, this girl's a good person. They know what they're talking about. But it's important to use someone who knows the market and knows the area. I feel that's very important.
Well, it goes right back to shopping local.
Yes, yes.
The way I think about it, if I'm going to sell my house and I have somebody that's living in the community, after they sell my house and any sort of profits that they make from it, then they can go ahead and buy things in the community again. They pay taxes in this community. They buy, they shop, they're local. So I'm supporting my economy by using a local real estate agent. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I even have, I have people, I've done the same, where I've got people living not in Wallaceburg, and they talk to me about, well, I live here, there, and I tell them, you're better off to find someone in your town, and I help them find, I knew people around Windsor, London, that I've, went to conferences with, and, and I'll hook them up. I had a guy in Chatham, for example, his son was buying in Windsor, good friend of mine, and I just said, look, I said, I'm going to hook you up with my buddy in Windsor. He knows what he's doing. Go there. He knows the market. I just feel, and luckily, I guess, I'm busy enough, and right now what's happened is a lot of the other towns have slowed right down.
Right.
We do get a lot of outside realtors coming here selling, and they don't, they just don't know the market.
Yeah, it's key for that. Talk to somebody who's involved in the community, understands everything about it. Where the good and the bad could possibly be, right? We're talking to Pete Allaer today from Riverside Realty, who's joining us in studios. If you've got a question for Pete and you want to ask it to us, feel free to call us at 519-627-0991. If it's a question about buying real estate or selling your current house, or you're maybe trying to get an idea of what houses are worth. Is it hard for you as a real estate agent to assess a property? What do you do when it comes to when you're going to sell your house? Do you kind of look at the neighborhood? Do you look at the street? Like, how do you come up with the price point of what a house sells for, Pete?
Yeah, so what happens is, the first thing I do is look at the neighborhood. I need to go inside the house and have a quick look inside the house. But in general, look at the neighborhood. We have lots of tools at our fingertips to look for comparables. I have to be honest, in the last couple of years, it's been a little difficult because things have been changing so quickly.
Yeah, the price changes.
Yeah, we see something and it's like, yeah, it's worth this, and then next thing we know, like a week later, bang, something sells.
Yeah.
But we have lots of tools we can look for. We look for, what's for sale right now, what's sold in the last, let's say month or two, what's sold in the last year. We look at the neighborhood, we look at the assessments. So we have lots of tools we can use. And, there's a bit of a joke with realtors. They say, we know exactly what your house is worth the day after it sells. Because honestly, we can think, we can do our best. But at the end of the day, the way I do it is I tell people, I want you to get as much as you can for your house, but we also want to sell it. So that's the fine line we have to come up with.
The thing that I think people forget about is they should use you. I mean, like, use your real estate agent. Let you guys do all the work. I mean, sometimes we're doing too much work as the buyer than we really need to do, right?
Well, that's why I say, if you get a good connection with a realtor, you get a good connection, and that person knows what you're looking for, and you keep in contact. The other thing that I think is very important, we're all busy, but if you as a buyer, once you get connected with a good realtor, stay in contact. Like text message back and forth, call them, email, whatever. Stay in contact with them, and what I do for my buyers is, I figure out what is it you're looking for, and from there I'm watching for you, and I'm sending you stuff, and I mean, in today's world with emails and everything, it's great because you can just send. If they like it, fine. If they don't like it, out it goes. But it's that relationship that you build. And it's no different than building relationships with other people you do business with. I just think it's very important to get a relationship with a realtor you can trust, someone who is being honest with you. I think I've said this before. I want to sell you a house. I don't necessarily want to sell you the house that we're in right now. Let's say if that's not the right house, no problem. Let's continue looking. But you get that if you build a relationship with someone.
Good point. All right, one more question before we go, and we'll take a break in the action and hear from Tom McGregor and Joe Amelia. Hey, Pete, love the show. How do you see COVID-19 affecting prices a year from now?
Well, my honest opinion on the COVID-19 and prices is I feel as though in our community, I feel like we're pretty stable. And I've always said this about our prices in general as being reasonably stable. 1 year from now, I don't see a whole lot of change in prices. If anything, I think I spoke about this a couple shows ago about, who knows, maybe we'll get a spike in demand for people wanting to get out of the city. 3 years from now, that's another question. I don't know. That one's a big mystery on what's going to happen. As long as we can recover on a reasonable level, that we don't have lots of long-term job losses.
Right.
I think we're stable. I do think our prices are stable. We didn't go up the way other towns did. We're still affordable. So we're still at a lower level than anywhere else. So I would say stability is a key word with our market.
I hope you're right, and I agree. I think that if I was in Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, I might be concerned about the real estate market there. I think that might change, and I think you will see people going out to a more open area like Chatham-Kent. And I mean, honestly, when you look at COVID-19 and the amount of cases that we've had in this community compared to the rest of the country, pretty phenomenal, really, other than Kent Bridge and the greenhouse there, but that was just one area. Other than that, we've been very good. So
yeah, we have.
All right, we'll take a little bit of a break in the action. We've got more coming up in just a little bit. We'll talk about the legal side of things in just a moment here. We're joined by Pete Allaer from Riverside Realty today here at 99.1 CKXS and the All About Real Estate Show. 99.1 FM CKXS. We continue with the All About Real Estate show. Just a few more minutes to go here with Pete Allaer from Riverside Realty. I want to thank Tom McGregor and also Joy Amelia for joining us today on the programs, and also Carrie Gray from Scotiabank for talking a little bit about mortgages. Another question that we got sent in here, and if you have a question for Pete Allaer and you want to call it in today, you can do so at 519-627-0991 and ask a question about real estate, whether it's buying or selling, whatever that question may be. Feel free to give us a call, or some of you have texted us today here. The text line is 519-437-9991. And we got a question on the text line here for you, Pete. Hi, I'm thinking about selling my home and wondered if you have any advice on what I can do now to increase the house value. Updates, possibly.
So the first two things that pay the most are declutter and clean. So if I walk into a home and I get, so quite often people will call me up and they'll say exactly that thing. They'll say, I'm thinking of selling my home. Can you come over and give me some pointers? And I like it when they do that, because that way they can prepare. So when it is time to sell, it's ready to go.
Right.
First two, declutter, clean, pay back the most. When people open the closets, make sure your closet isn't jam full, falling over. Like, just have it so it looks like a normal closet, a few things in there, and cleanliness. After that, there's sort of like infrastructure things. So, people look at the roof, the windows, the furnace, the foundation, the electrical. If there's any of those things that are like, let's say your roof is shot, you probably should put a new roof on, because the first thing they see is a shot roof. They're going to say, okay, well, there's 10 grand. After that, they go in the house. The next thing is little things that are broke. So doorknobs that aren't working, light fixtures that, let's say you have a light fixture that doesn't work, or burnout light bulbs. Those are all little things you can do, or a closet door that's kind of hanging. Fix all those little things. A lot of times, unless you can do things yourself and you're good at it, because that's the other thing. Sometimes people think they're better than they are.
I work overtime so I can pay people to do those things that I'm not very good at.
Yeah, and so if you have to go pay someone to start renovating, major renovations, quite often you're lucky if you'll get your money back. But if you're good at it, and some people are very good at it. But again, going back, I'd say the major thing is declutter, clean, and fix little things. Make sure every light bulb in your house is, like, every light fixture has a light bulb in it that works. Somebody walks in a room and flips a switch and nothing, and then the light doesn't come on. They think you got an electrical problem. All it is a burnout light bulb. So those are little things like that can make a world of difference.
You forget too how cluttered your house is, don't you? I've realized that too. I think somebody once told me, hey, don't forget about your bathroom and the shower. So you know how you have your soaps and your shampoos and your, like, the conditioners and all this other stuff. You have all this stuff that's piled into that shower. Get rid of all of that stuff. Put it in a box so when they look at your shower, it's clean. There's nothing in there. It just that decluttering is a big part.
You hit the nail right on the head. We don't see our own junk.
No.
Right? We don't. I mean, we go to someone else's house, we see the junk.
Yeah.
Our own junk we don't see. And I also tell people, put yourself in the buyer's shoes when you walk. Try to walk through your house as if you're a buyer.
Yeah.
And look around. And it's not easy to do, but if you can do that, that also helps.
And also keep in mind that, I guess, people aren't just going through your home anymore. They're seeing it online. So when you're preparing all those pictures, you want to make sure it's all decluttered. And I see some pictures sometimes, and it's funny how your mind thinks. I see a refrigerator has all these things from the kids' schoolwork and pictures and stuff that's all posted on the refrigerator. It does look cluttered. It doesn't look the same. Instead of it just being a nice, clean, stainless steel refrigerator that you see in the kitchen area, it does stand out differently how people think, right?
Well, it kind of, you want to have it so when they look at something, they don't get distracted, right? They look at the kitchen, they see the kitchen.
Yeah, good answer there. So declutter, good message for someone who's looking at selling a house. Hopefully that helps you with selling yours. All right, before we go, anything else you want to add in today? Real estate's still doing well, still supply and demand. You're still looking for more properties,
Absolutely, Pete? Yeah. We're selling them as fast as we list them. I talked about the house last week there next to Big Chief, and it's sold.
Wow.
I mean, listed and sold in less than a week. Everything seems to be doing that right now. I mean, it's moving fast, lots of demand. We definitely need more homes. Definitely need more listings.
Any listings that you want to talk about today that you've got?
The latest one I just got was next to Tom McGregor's office there. It used to be the Lusher Accounting Building. It's kind of an interesting building. It has it's a 2-story with a residential on the top and office on the bottom. I think in my ad I said, "Are you working from home and looking for a little private office? So you can buy this place and you live upstairs and work downstairs." But it's 224 Duncan Street. 224 Duncan Street. But we still got a few listings. Not a lot, but can always use more.
Okay. And if someone's interested in getting a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
They can call at 519-627-3381 into our office, and from there, they can call the cell phones of all our realtors, and they're easy to find that on our website and all our socials. We're all over the place, so we're easy to find.
Okay. There's Pete Allaer for this week's show on the All About Real Estate program. Thanks a lot for joining us today, Pete, and thanks for answering some questions for us today as well.
All right. Thanks, Greg.